Good morning, everyone. It is Brenda here for Stamplicity, and we're just about ready to get going. All right, hello. I'm sorry. I know I'm a little late, but I was busy. I was busy foiling this morning for an event, and I wanted to get it done before I jumped on for foiling now. So welcome to Fun Friday, and today we are going to Glimmer. All right, I thought this would be a good refresher for those that have a Glimmer machine and for those that may be interested in it and want to know all about it, this would be a great little beginning video. All right, so let's talk Glimmer. Now, this machine is a foiling machine. All right, so this is what it looks like. It looks very much like the Better Press system, except it's got a base here. And this here is a heat activated foiler. All right. This is put out by Spellbinders. It's been on the market for quite a long time. There's a bit of a learning curve to it, but once you do it a few times, it becomes very simple to use. The key is to use it. All right. I know there's a lot of you out there that um, have it and it's still in a box, or you are just scared to use it, and we don't want you to be scared. This is a pretty awesome machine. So I'm going to go do a kind of a quick overview of the Glimmer machine. I'm going to do some foiled panels here using this fantastic seashell press plate. Now, yes, it's a press plate, but press plates you can also foil with, so it's double duty. So if you have a Better Press system, all your press plates are foilable in the Glimmer machine, all right, which is pretty awesome. Then it means you get dual use of it, all right. So I'm going to go over the basics of this. And here's the cool thing. Starting next week, we're going to have the Glimmer machine at our demo bar. All right, so if you come visit us at the store, you're going to be able to try this hands-on experience and do a seashell panel. All right, so that's going to be starting on a Tuesday of next week. We'll have the Glimmer machine there, and we'll have it there for a couple of weeks for you to try. All right. So that is where we're going to go for today. All right. So Glimmer machine. What comes in your Glimmer machine? You will get some exclusives in there in terms of an exclusive Glimmer plate. I don't know where mine is, but the main machine is this here. All right. So you're going to have the base here. You're going to have your electrical cord that will unplug here. You just plug that in, and then the other end to the outlet. This piece here is meant to come out. Now, when you first get a Glimmer machine, sometimes it's very tough to get in and out of this connection. That is the electrical connection there that kind of connects the two so that this starts warming up. So like I said at the beginning, this is a heat activated foiling system, a little bit different from a laminator system. All right. But so there's a connection there. So the key is when you let me put this down. When you put this together, you got to make sure there's no gap in there, that the two little sockets there are connected. All right. So that's really important. All right. So that is our base and our, I'm going to call it the tray. All right. The tray, the heating tray. And then you are going to get two kind of plates on here. This one here, you can see it's kind of a greeny gray color, a little opaque. This is the thin shim. Now this is heat resistant, all right, and that's really important to know because that's what you're always going to put down against the heated surface here. And then you have what we call the spacer plate, and that will go on top. And then you still need a die cut machine as well. All right. So a Big Shot will work. Platinum 6 will work. You can use those electrical machines as well. If you have a Cuttlebug, unfortunately, this will not fit in the Cuttlebug. All right. You will also get this little silicone tray. This is a cooling mat for your press plates after you're done with them because they can get very warm. And then there's a magnetic tool as well, which I don't know where mine is. I just pick mine up. But if you're really sensitive to the heat or the temperature of the metal plates when they come off, use that magnetic one or a pair of tweezers. All right. Now, a couple of extra little things that I think are always good to have, and hopefully I will be able to show you. All right. So this one here, all right, is just a white eraser. This is really great for overfoiling, and hopefully I'll be able to show you tips and techniques using this. So I have a white eraser, and you don't have to go anywhere special to get this. Like, honestly, this I stole from back in the day when Josh was still in school, when he was in Roblox. I don't know, is this something gaming, whatever, but you can see it on there. But this is one of his school erasers. I have a white eraser in my foiling box. And then the other thing that's really important, if you don't have, is a sand eraser, and that's really good for overfoiling as well. And hopefully I will show you that, and we'll have some overfoiling so I can show you how to use these. But these are really great to have in your foiling box, all right? The other thing I love is this here. This does not come with a foiling machine. This is an extra, but this is the Spellbinder's foil cutter. I don't know if you've ever tried to cut foil off of a roll. It's so thin. And using a scissors, I never get straight edges. I always get jagged cuts, whatever. So this is a little foil cutter. And maybe it's a luxury. I don't know. I mean, some people are fine using a scissor, but I like this because I get straight cuts. All right. My foil always stays flat. I don't get creases in it. So I think it's a very useful tool. All right. Okay, so I think that's kind of the overview of what you get with the Glimmer machine, some extra helpful tools. And remember, you do need a die cut machine for this. All right, so let's get foiling. So when you get your foiling machine, again, you want to plug it in. You want to make sure that the heating tray is pushed all the way in, that there's no gap up here. And then there on the very end here, there is a power button. All right, so I'm going to turn that on. When you turn that on, you will notice that lights come on. All right. So you have three lights here. One will represent the power. All right, that turned red when I turned it on. And then there are two other little lights. The one that's underneath the power button is platform ready, and that will turn green when this platform comes to temperature. All right. So right now it's in heating mode. I can feel that that's starting to heat. When you initially turn it on, it will take a few minutes to warm up to temperature. All right. So please be patient. All right. Now, I was foiling this morning, so mine is not going to take as long to warm up because mine still was a little warm. But that will turn green when the platform is ready. Then we have one just below that where it says timer. And I guess maybe I should bring this up a little bit so you can see it. Where it says timer, and then there's a little button there. So that's really important when you're starting to foil. And I'll show you how that is used, and we'll talk about that once we start foiling. All right. So really simple to use, really easy to follow along as well. Now, you might notice that I have some markings on my heating tray here, the surface here. Now, these are markings that I put on myself, all right? So basically, those are my A2 markings, all right? Normally, I will just always foil on an A2 panel. So I just cut an A2 panel and I did this here. And now that's kind of like my corner guide. So when I place something, I know things can be straight because I have those corner guides. So basically all I did was I took a pen and I just kind of, there's grooves on this little grid system here. All right, there's grooves. I just kind of took my pen and traced that out. And it will probably wear off over time, and you just go ahead. It's not going to affect your foiling by any means, but it's just those are guidelines for me. All right, so I just found that helpful to do. Okay, so this is still warming up. While that's still warming up, let's talk about the plate that I'm going to be using. All right, so this is, like I said, a better press plate. Better press plates can be foiled. Now, if you have foiling plates that are just meant for foiling, you unfortunately cannot just use them in the better press. All right, so only better press can be used both ways. So most companies now are coming out with these kind of press and foil it plates. All right, that tells you that you can use it in both machines. All right, that becomes these become very versatile then, especially when you have both machines. So before we get going, I'm going to show you the difference on what you can do with this. All right, so this here is a sample I did using that background. I should also mention that the die that's used on here is this one. They're both Hero Arts. One is the press plate and one is the seashells. Unfortunately, I don't have the exact names. I do have the codes. But if you go under Hero Arts on our website or even put shells, you will probably find this. So this is a die that you'll see on the samples that I'm creating, as well as the press plate that we'll be using. All right, so this here is been pressed. All right, so that's been pressed with ink on better pressed paper. I'm not sure if you can see the depth of it pressed in there, but it is beautiful. And then we've just done an angle cut on it and then decorated it with those seashell dies. All right, so that is pressed with ink. Then this one here is foiled with gold foil. I'm not sure. There we go. We can see a little bit of reflection in the light there. And it is absolutely stunning. Both ways of using this press plate is beautiful. I love the options that you can do it with ink and any color ink that you want. And then you can also get that metallic look, shiny look with foils with any type of foil you want. So it's kind of really fun to have those options. But today we are just going to foil it. I think I've shown better press so many times. I think you all get it. But today it's all about foiling. So we're going to create some backgrounds. All right. So as I was just talking there, I noticed my ready light came on. That means this has come to temperature. It is really, really warm. All right. Now, I can feel the heat off of it, and it is quite hot to the touch. All right. So please, you always have to be careful with this, especially with young children around. There is a caution hot. It is hot. All right. I kid you not. All right, now let's talk about the plates that go on here. Now, something like this. Now, this one here, this is what I was using this morning. This is a Spellbinders sentiment plate. All right, so this one here, I was doing this morning for one of our events that are coming up. I was doing multiple, so I'm just going to show you that. All right, so there it is foiled, and it is beautiful. Now, this is a press plate, but oh my gosh, it's beautiful when it's foiled. So something like this, because it's smaller in nature, it doesn't take as long to warm up. But when you start getting into background plates like this, it takes longer to warm up. So let me just peel this off. You always use such strong adhesive on here. All right, so I'm going to place this on here. And again, I'm using my corner guides. That's going to help me place it. And I'm just going to let that sit there for a few minutes. And I really want it to absorb the heat. All right. Even though it says my platform is ready, this is not ready to go yet. We got to let it warm up. And I know a lot of people struggle um, with foiling and getting a nice foil. And the key that I got to tell you is just make sure things are warmed up properly, especially when you have big items like this. That metal needs the time to warm up. So I'm going to let that sit there. I can feel that it's warming up really, really nicely. So I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. We're going to get our things prepped. All right. So I thought I would foil my favorite foils. All right. Actually, I love them all, but I do have some really fun favorites. And the first one I'm going to do is this one here. This is the matte. Oh, I got to make sure I got the right name. Of course, I don't keep all my boxes here either. So, but it's the matte gold. Do I have it? Do I have it? No, of course I don't. But it's the matte gold. As you, I'm just gonna, this is like shiny gold, all right? And then this one here is matte. I love this one. This is probably my all-time favorite. I find it really foils really well. And it's just beautiful. It really is. So let's go ahead and cut now. All right, so I'm gonna get my foil cutter out. I need a bigger disc. Okay. And I'm going to now, so this is what I mean. It keeps everything nice and flat to cut. Now I have a little wrinkle in here, And so I'm just going to cut that off. I will use that for something smaller. So then I'm going to just replace my cutting guide over top. Then it comes with these little X-Acto knives, and then all I have to do is fit it in there. Really safe to use. All right. So now I have a nice straight edge. I'm just going to put this to the side because it got wrinkled and we got some foil missing, and I don't want to use that piece. I'll use it for something smaller. All right. So now I'm just going to kind of roll this down, and I'm going to cut a piece that's going to cover that plate. I think that's good. I'm just eyeballing it, everyone. I'm not measuring. All right, so there we go. All right, so let's talk about foil. When you cut your foil, and then you want to do that, I just use a piece of washi tape or low tack tape just to hold it down. This way, when you're storing it, it doesn't get all crunched up, and that's what happened to my piece from before. I didn't have a piece of tape on it, so it kind of unrolled and it got squashed. So just a little piece of washi tape or low tack tape will keep that nice and tight, and it won't affect your foil then. All right, so I'm gonna put that to the side. All right, so this should be warm now. All right, now just as a precaution, I'm gonna just put this on. Oh, I should tell you about how to put the foil on. All right, so press plate is down, and then you're gonna take your foil, and you always want to have the color kissing the plate. All right, so you want the design and the color of the foil kissing. All right, so that means lay it down. All right, I could have cut that just a little bit bigger, but I know I'm going to cut my panel down, so I'm going to lay that there. All right, and then what color are we going to do? We're going to do this on a coral piece of cardstock. All right, cardstock. Okay, let me just get this on here. So I'm just going to use my corner guides here. So now I can center that in nicely. I'm going to push that timer button, and then I'm going to take my plates. I have the thin adapter, which is the heat resistant one, and then the spacer plate on top. I'm going to lay that on top. I'm just going to let that timer. This is going to ensure that we have proper heating time on that plate with the paper on there and all that. Now my plate was probably warm enough anyways, but we're giving it that extra time to really make sure everything will be well. And you can see that button or the light is flashing. When it stops flashing and turns a solid green, that's when you can take this out and put it into your die cut machine and roll it through. No extra plates are needed. You're just going to use the plates that are here. All right, so now it's just a waiting game. This is where you need a little patience. All right, so usually when I'm doing my foiling, I'm usually doing multiple things. I would then take this time while I'm waiting for that light to turn solid green, which it just did, and cut my next foil. All right, so once that is done, that's turned solid green now. You're going to pull this out. Now I hold down on these little these little plates on here. I hold them down and I pull out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this whole sandwich. All right, we're not adding anything. We're not taking anything away. I'm going to put that in my die cut machine and run it through. Now, I typically will go slower. All right, and you're only going to roll it through once. That's all you need. You don't need to go back and forth. All right. And this is where the magic happens. Once I have that pushed through, then I go ahead and remove my top plates. I put this back in. Again, I want to make that connection there so that this will continually warm up. All right, so you can notice that the platform is not ready. All right, the light is not green because we took it out. It cooled off a little bit. Now it needs to get up to temperature. All right, so we're just going to let that sit. In the meantime, let's have that aha moment. Are you ready? All right, so you can see that's the top of it. You can see that you've got a little bit of pressing action happening there. All right, that is just the machine pressing that foil onto the paper. And look at that. All right, good. I got some overfoiling. All right, now overfoiling is sometimes it's just because I have my machine too hot. All right, so you can see inside the seashell. I'm glad this happened. This is going to be a teachable moment, everyone. You can see that I have overfoiling there. All right, and so this is where those white erasers and sand erasers come into effect. All right. So I'm going to start with a white eraser first because sometimes this will remove it. So you're just going to, and I just kind of lay it kind of flat and I just go over top of it. Now, The foil from the overfoiling is really not sticking to the paper, only where it's been pressed on there. And you can see I removed that foil that was there. Sometimes you'll get stubborn areas that just don't want to remove. Okay, let me do this one here because there's lots of overfoiling here. You see that? There's lots of overfoiling. Just with a white eraser, I'm going to be able to remove most of that. Okay. And then you're going to have a beautiful, clean design. I think it was just in that corner. Sometimes it's just the pressure of your machine as well. But a white eraser is your friend when it comes to foiling. Okay, I think the white eraser is taking everything off, the overfoiling. So, all right. Ta-da! Look how beautiful that is. And that white eraser took everything off. Oh, I love it. All right. So let's just put that to the side. So that was, I think I used coral. I think this is coral paper from Spellbinders. All right. With the satin gold. All right. Or matte gold. All right, there's that. All right, let's continue on. My platform's ready. So let's do rose gold because I really love this color. And we're gonna do that on the coral as well, just because it looks awesome on coral. So I'm gonna get my cutter here. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna cut a slice here. All right. And then I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape, whoop, as it rolled away from me. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start my timer now. I'm going to start getting my little sandwich on here. Remember, the color of the foil is going to kiss the plate. So we got that. Then we're going to put our heat resistant plate down, which is the thin shim, and then the clear one on top. Oops, my foil folded over there. Just was static. So let me just do that again. Okay. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to go ahead and cut my next one. Look at this lovely silver one. Oh, I don't know what this one is called. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have names of these. But it is beautiful. There's so many different foils out there that are just so awesome. So as this is going to go to that solid green, this is when I normally will cut my next one, just to be prepared. I'm very impatient, so I got to keep myself busy. Fun fact is this does have an automatic shut off. All right. So I know that because sometimes I will multitask and then a squirrel runs by and then I forget that the this is still on, but it turns off. So which is good. So all right. So that turned green. I'm going to run that through. And let's have that aha moment. Oh, I forgot to put my paper on. All right. Well, you know what? See, squirrel moment. This is sometimes happens, and I know a lot of you have where you'll foil your plate, and that's okay. It's not going to affect your foiling going forward. I cannot believe I just did that. And I see that Sherry's on. Come on, Sherry. You didn't tell me that. Didn't put the paper on. All right, but it happens to all of us, everyone. It really does. Okay. So we're just going to move on. I guess I'm not going to show you the rose gold. Sherry's got a good tip there too, that she writes a name on a printer on a slip of printer paper and tape it inside the roll. Yes, that's a brilliant, brilliant idea. And I should start doing that. So, okay, we are going to go. We are going to go now. We're just going to jump the rose gold because this is what rose gold looks like on your plate. And we're just going to go into the pretty silver one now. All right. And we're going to put paper on. All right. So my platform's ready. And we're going to take our foil and remember the pretty side that is going to kiss that. And then we are going to put this on, we're going to do this on this lovely color. I don't know what color this is. It's not mint and I don't think it's windy, but it's a light blue, tealy green. All right, so I'm going to start my timer. I'm going to put my plate down. And again, the foil that's on here is not going to affect it. It's on there nicely, and it's pretty now. It's pretty. All right, so that's going. Paper's on. That's wonderful. And then while that's warming up, I'm going to show you this one. This one is, I love this one. This one here is opal. All right, so this is kind of a clear one. And this one's a little tricky because you got to remember what the top and the bottom is, because take a look at this foil. It's like clear. All right. So always make sure you know which is the top and the bottom. So I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm going to keep it on here until I'm ready, because I know that this is the top, but this is, this foil is stunning. Stunning. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you. All right. This one's going back in the box. Okay. Da, da. All right, timer has gone off. I'm going to pull this off and run it through my machine. All right, here we go. Paper there. All right, so you can see the little indentations on there. It looks like I got a good foil. And then let's do the aha moment. This is what I love. And I love watching people do this as well. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh my God. I get really excited about this. This is like better press too. When you take the lid off. All right, that foiled beautifully. I do have a little bit of just extra foil, over foiling there. So again, I'm going to take that white eraser, and it's just going to remove it. All right, and it's not going to wreck your foiling on the uh, image. All right, it's just going to remove the excess foil that might have just got stuck. This is a really detailed plate as well. So, just if you have that white eraser, you can just kind of lay it over top or rub it over top, and look how beautiful that is. And you're going to get that sparkle and shine from that holographic foil. All right, so there is that. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I don't even think the camera's picking up how pretty that. Oh, there it is. All right, now you can see that sparkle. Da, da. All right, so while I'm gonna get the next one ready. Patricia is asking, how do you clean up your plate now? I don't worry about it. It's not going to affect your foiling. I know people have used like rubbing alcohol and try to take it off, but it's a lot of elbow grease. And honestly, I'm one of those people that don't even clean my stamps, so I'm not worried about it. So if it doesn't affect my next foiling, it's fine. All right, you just made it your own. That's the way I look at it. I made it my own. It's not going to affect it. And honestly, this is like the second Glimmer machine I have. And if you were to see my other plate that I have, it is foiled because I've forgotten a few times, or I had a shorter piece of paper. It's fine. All right, so no worries, no worries. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna get this on now. All right, so this is my top of my paper, my foil. Remember, this is that opal, so it's really hard to tell which is the front and the back. So the front is facing up. So the front is the colored side. That's going to get kissed to the plate. All right. Now we're going to do this on an ivory color because I think this is going to be beautiful as a seashell pattern. So I'm going to go ahead, start that timer. I'm going to put my paper down, kind of using my corner guides there. And then we'll put our lovely, again, there's my foiled plate. All right. I'm going to put that down. So just to show you, Patricia, that it doesn't really matter. All right. And then that's going to go on top. And then I'm going to just tidy up a little bit here. Look how pretty that is. Oh, love it. It really is stunning. The sparkle and shine on that. And then our gold one. Oh, so pretty, 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 pretty. Now, these pieces here, you can use, if you did a really good, foil, all right, with no blotchiness, and it's perfect, you can actually use a solid plate. We're not going to talk about a solid plate today because that is a whole other learning curve, but you can save these, and if you have a solid plate, then you can do the negative, which is really cool, so you're really not wasting all this foil, but that's a whole other session. All right, so, okay, my timer is done. All right, so, oh, this one's gonna be so pretty, everyone. Run it through the machine. All right, here we go. Are you ready for this? This one is so stunning, and I just think with the seashells, it is all right. So you can see that you've got that indentation on there. That means we've got a good pressure on there. And take a look. Now this is like you don't see too much, but wait till I just move this. Now I have some overfoiling going on there. All right, so I am going to grab my eraser before I show you, and I'm just going to rub it over top and remove all that extra foiling. Oh, I got a corner here. Excellent. I'm not happy that I have to all do this extra foiling, but I am happy because I can use this as a teachable moment for everyone. All right, so in my corner, I really have some extra foiling, and it's usually the corners that are a little bit difficult to get the extra foiling off. Um, So, first, let's all just take a moment and take a look at that. It is even better in real life because you're going to be able to see all that reflective. It is so, so pretty. Oh my gosh, that opal on cream with the seashells. Fantastic, I got to say. All right, now here's my teachable moment. In the corner here, let's see if the camera will. All right, right in the corner, I have some extra foiling there. Sometimes you'll get a big blotchy like that on a corner, especially with sentiments. I find you get it with that. And sometimes the white eraser will not work. I know it's really hard to see on camera, but I think you can see the little blotch there. So sometimes this will not work. This is where move in sand eraser. All right. So here, if you've never used a sand eraser, this is perfect for over inking. All right. So if you get inky fingerprints on your card fronts like I do all the time, and if you watch me on my lives, you know that that I do. But I have one for regular inking, and then this is my better press one. But I like to keep the angle of the edges here. I always kind of use it flat. So you always have that kind of point there for getting into the nooks and crannies. But on that corner there, all right, so I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to lay it flat and just gently go over top of it, and it's going to remove that foil. All right, so which is awesome. Look how pretty that is. All right, so let me turn this off because I'm done now. And let's just talk about what we did today. All right, so foiling machine, making sure that it is up to temperature before you start using it. With the bigger plates like this, make sure you give it the extra time to really warm up. All right, that's going to be the key for these. For overfoiling, two handy tools to have: sand eraser, and I know we only had one more in stock, so if you are looking for that and it says sold out, we have an order coming in on Monday, and those will be restocked. All right, so just hang tight if they're sold out on the website. And then just grab a white eraser. If you still have school supplies from your kids laying around, we all have that drawer. There might be one of those in there. If not, they're really easy to find. All right. And you don't need to get a real expensive one. All right. It's just a white eraser, and it has to be the white eraser, not a pink eraser. All right. There's a difference in the in the erasers as a white eraser. All right. So, and then one of the luxury pieces that I love, of course, is my foil cutter. That comes with the cutting base, the cutting guide, and then you'll have the little cutting knife as well. And then, of course, my favorite foils. All right. So this lovely kind of glittery, speckly, I don't know what it's called, but we can help you out, all right, to find that one. The matte gold is lovely, and then of course the opal. All right, so that is kind of glimmering in a nutshell, just a nice little intro or refresher. And we'll have this, like I said, at the demo bar starting next Tuesday. We'll have it there for a couple of weeks, and you can do a seashell pattern like this. We'll have a couple of different foils to choose from and background colors so you can pick and choose and have some fun and try it. All right. So that is it for me, everyone, for Fun Friday. Thank you so much for joining me live, as well as those that are watching on the replay. We appreciate your watching. And until next time, everyone, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll see you soon. Bye.